Hi, students. I hope you're doing fine. That you were able to enjoy the movie and the analysis of the movie. I'm going to continue lecturing through this video and presentations and different things as if I was there with you. Um, One thing that we have to understand, and this is not sexist or gender biased in any way, but research shows, just trust me on this one, that men um, tend to be more depressed when they're unemployed than women. Okay, we're not making a judgment on whether that should be the case or not. We're just saying a fact. um, Men without employment suffer more than women, at least in the Western Hemisphere, because maybe because we have been raised with the idea that men should be the breadwinners of the family as opposed to women. Okay, the fact is, whether that's something that we picked up from our upbringing or is something genetic, we have to really search into that. But the point is that men are really depressed when they don't have a job. They can hit them really, really hard being unemployed. It is it is just very, very difficult for men. Now, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, okay, um, being employed is something that it can give you an idea of how important it is in the sense of work being a source of happiness, a source of satisfaction in itself. Because if you can see the chart, okay, the unemployed, for example, uh, seem to be more stressed than the employed. If you look at the stressed component, um, just because you're unemployed, you have a higher probability of being more stressed. So look, if you think about this graph, it's not saying whether you're in an ideal job or not, whether you're enjoying it or not. It is just the fact that you're employed. So that can give you an idea of how important it is to work and how satisfaction we get from work. Just the fact that we're employed. This doesn't mean that we're doing the ideal job, that we enjoy our work. Nothing. It just means this is unemployed. So we have, I'm sorry, employed people have less stress. Now, if you do remember, um, 35 is not zero. It means that they are stressed. Okay? People that work are stressed. But the interesting part is that 75% of, of the people who are stressed say that their stress is a result of their job. So let me try to make this clear. Unemployed people are more stressed. Employed people are stressed to a certain point, and they say that 75% of that stress that they have is a result of their job. So it is kind of tricky, right? Because you're stressed anyway, whether you're employed or unemployed. But putting food on the table does does create some type of relief. Okay, breadwinning, putting food on the table, thinking that you're, and in fact, what could be the natural explanation for this without having to study anything in detail? It is if you feel productive. Human beings want to feel productive. And if you think about it, okay, just the fact that you're being productive or breadwinner or contributing to the well-being of a family, it's kind of a looks like it starting to look like a purpose to me. That higher purpose, just the fact that you're doing something that contributes to the well-being of a family, um, makes you less stressed. Now let's look at the other ones. Sad, obviously. I mean, right now, by the way, guys, I've met with a lot of people, business owners, executives that are unemployed as a result of the crisis, and they're very sad, very, very sad. Um, it is, it is just very difficult to watch. Okay, we are, and the reason I'm putting we are right now in the world of unemployment. Nicaragua has lost about employees. Okay, that's a big chunk, and they are depressed. And the problem is when you're depressed, it's even harder to look for a job because people don't want to hire somebody that's depressed. We're going to talk about that later. You know how it shows in your employment. Um, Worried, of course. Obviously you're more worried. And what are the things that just off of the top of your head? What are the things that can keep you worried? Well, you're worried basically if you're going to make it, if that's going to be forever, if it's going to stay with you. Um, and let me find something here. Okay, you see that sad and depressed are not necessarily the same. Okay, you can be sad and not depressed. The difference being, depressed is usually clinical in the sense that, or chronic, that it stays with you for a long time. You can be sad once in a while, even if you're watching a sad movie, but then when you're done, you're happy again. Depressed is more permanent. Now, as far as we're talking about moods, I want to show you something interesting. Our moods are affected by the day of the week. This is just a fact. Okay? I'm not saying it's good or bad or anything, I'm just stating a fact. Um, okay, let's say it's our moods, the positive effect of our moods and negative effect of our moods. So it looks like if we look at the positive affect, please make sure this is not, you understand that it's not an effect. Effect would be the result of a cause. Affect is just, the characteristic of the mood. And as you see, of course, well, not of course, but you can guess that we're kind of happy when we're talking about the end of the week, that you want to just forget about, and you're looking forward to a nice weekend. Saturday is really good. Actually, Sunday is very low. Why? Because Monday is coming. Okay, I mean, I know it sounds funny and it's not meant to be a joke, but the fact is that somebody that has this mood, they don't like to work where they're working. Why? Because they're dreading Mondays, hoping for Fridays, and dragging their feet the rest of the week. It's like, okay, my happiest days on Saturday. Why? Because I know I don't work on Sundays, and it's a free day for me, or for some people. Actually, I'm working on Saturdays, and then Friday, just in the anticipation of that. So, on Wednesday we're kind of low, because we don't see a future in our lives. So I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not being to be funny. It's just the fact that this is so predictable. I mean, so and Monday, okay, after it's on Sunday is the worst day because Monday's coming. But once Mondays come, um, you kind of accept it, and you're there, and so it starts to pick up. On Tuesday, it picks up again, but it goes back on Wednesday, goes down because you're in the middle of the whole thing. But you know what? Thursday looks like a nice day because it's close to Friday, etc. Now this shows you that people don't want to be in their job. Okay, because why would I expect? To be honest, when Monday comes, I'm like right here because I love my job. Okay, now to be honest, I don't like working on Saturdays, um, because because of my family, not because I don't like what I do. It's just I want to be with my family, so I don't like working on Saturdays. But this is the typical, you know, thing. Now something more interesting than that, um, is there are moods change, by the time of day. Okay, and why is this important in organizational behavior? Okay, look at it. I mean, this is our positive mood. Okay, start slow. Okay, we just got to work, whatever. Then we start picking up activity, and it peaks around 3. Okay, like and then starts, getting tired, whatever. Want to go home, and then these are our this is our mood. Now, if I want to talk to, um, if I want to talk to an employee that I want to reprimand in the sense that they've done something wrong, what time would you pick? Just think about it for a second. If you're the boss and you want to talk to an employee that has messed up, made some mistake, and you want to do what's right, which is talk to this person, but you want this person to take it the best way possible. I don't know about you, but I would do it at 3. Okay, I would do it at 3. Okay, and the other thing, if you're a salesperson, this is just an interesting point. At what time would you want to call a potential client? Can I hear 3? I mean, somebody, please. I mean, I know this is not interactive, but I would call somebody at 3. Now, the other day I shared something that I want to share with you. Okay, I want to show you something interesting on why moods are so important in organizational behavior. And I'm sorry I couldn't, and then I'm going to show you, for example, uh, something that I sent my team. Okay, and basically, um, that this is what I'm gonna do. I don't mind if you watch my private stuff. Okay, but I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Um, okay, but I'm trying to find an interesting research that was done, um, that it's really really good, and I think you need to know it. It's really important. Um, okay, let's see. This is probably not working well. Um, okay, yeah, coming here. So I mean, thank you for your patience. This is really important. Now, what does mood have to do with everything? Well, first of all, in organizational behavior, you need to know what makes people have a good or bad mood naturally. Obviously, some people are going to be more optimistic than others, but also if we're human beings, natural cycles, we have something that's called the circadian cycle, and this is something that I want you to take notes on too. Okay, um, circadian um, rhythm. And this is all, I mean, people think that only women have rhythm and biological cycles. And just to show you that we all have different uh, uh, um, hormones and neurotransmitters happening at different times during the month, during the day, during the hour, whatever. Okay, you don't need to know that right now. All you need to know is that human beings have rhythms in every part of their bodies and the brain. But the only rhythm we think about is the menstrual cycle of women. Men have a lot of things that also work on a cyclical cycle, including mood. Okay, that's why it's so important. So I was showing you um, the mood here during the day, work day. But I want to show you something that's really interesting, and it makes sense if you want to communicate with other people in other companies. And for example, if uh, if you want to call, um, you're going to see this research come up in a second. If you're a salesperson and you want to call to sell somebody, which is the best day to do it? Well, it turns out that research about the mood and everything shows that Thursday is the best day. I don't know if you knew that. So if I want to, if I'm a salesperson and I want to organize my week, I would probably not call anyone on Mondays because they're also cranky, right? But maybe I could just organize and send emails, do file work or whatever, and I would concentrate on these 2 days to call. Okay, um, but if you want to go further, um, let's think about the um, let's see, time of day. Okay, So look at it. I mean, you have from 8 to 9 and from 4 to 5, the best time to call. So if I want to organize my schedule based on human behavior in a company, not only would I choose when people are most optimistic if I want to reprimand somebody, okay, but also if I want to sell something and even convince somebody in the inside of my own company to accept something that I want to do, which is, by the way, selling. You're selling ideas. If we want to use the science, and I promise that we're going to use science, I would do it either 8 to 9 or 4 to 5. And since I'm selling, even though it's inside the company, I would try to do it on a Thursday. So if you want to convince your boss of something, do it from 8 to 9 on a Thursday. Now, does it make sense then to look at science and how our brains work to make decisions for organizational behavior? Of course, and so people's mood change between the days. They change between the hour because there's such a thing called circadian cycle for human beings. I'm not gonna go into that right now. No, is that we have circadian rhythm. For example, we produce melatonin um, during night, so we can. I mean, that's the way our bodies know it's night. It's time to sleep. Okay. A lot of people can't go to sleep not because they have anxiety problems. It's just that their melatonin is not working. Okay. And you start producing different hormones at different times of days and all of that. If we really know this science, we can really know how to get to people when it's best. Okay. So right now, just as a summary, mood of people have to do a lot of things. Mainly, we should be concerned about how we can handle mood ourselves, even though we are prone to be depressed in whatever situation. We have to do this, and companies need to understand that there are ways of having to fight against our bad moods and their depression, all of that. Even though those are the realities, we can do something to improve it, and we need to know that as managers because we're working with the people. Okay, so it's not going to fix it. If you fire someone, it's not necessarily going to fix the problem. Okay, because you're gonna get another person with a new set of problems. Maybe not the same set of problems, but a new one. So it doesn't make sense to fire people all the time, okay? Because it's just like changing wives, okay? I mean, if somebody gets married a lot, it's because they've had problems with their wives, and what they find out is that they have different problems now, but you know, but they still have problems. So it doesn't make much sense to get a divorce, so quickly, or fire someone. I'm not saying they're the same thing. I'm just saying that people have different strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so we're gonna leave it at that right now, and I'll see you in a few.